Story time. So back in 2021, I just started doing recruiting, tech sales recruiting. I was previously an SDR. I was contracted out, booking meetings for all different types of tech companies and all different verticals and all markets and what have you. Just started this brand new direct hire sales recruitment team within the firm where I work at now, Memory Blue, and started doing the recruiting thing. I'd never gotten any training on it, but I knew how to prospect and, qualify some leads for sales. So I figure, okay, well, I can recruit. Shit, you just make friends with people, chop it up, and try to see if they're lying and whatnot. But anyway, I started doing that. First month in, I had a great month. And I'm talking about the market here. So this was 2021, and I had a couple interviews go up, but the first placement that I ever made was in 2021. Pretty sure it was in my first month. Guy goes off for his first interview, and client comes back and they say, "Hey, we want to make your boy an offer." And I was like, what? It's supposed to be 3 steps, at least. You have one hiring manager, and then you got a team lead, and then you have a presentation. But they offered him right off the first call. Fast forward to March 2023. I looked this up. I had been in the setting up to get a head of sales hired. It was the first head of sales, company been established maybe 10 years or so, 100 or so employees, didn't really have a motion stood up. CRM was all over the place, so they wanted to hire somebody to come in and fix everything while also driving some revenue. Identified a fella, he'd been through all the steps, everybody was loving him, everything is hunky-dory. He's even got, the same mission-driven background with the company, and I looked for that. I went out and found this guy, and he matched on a spiritual level with this company. Okay, so I get told from the CEO, "Hey, we have an idea of what we want to offer. Can you go ahead and write up an offer letter?" So I go ahead, I draft up an offer letter, and I get the go ahead. I was waiting on the CFO to go ahead and sign off on that, to approve of it. And I hadn't heard anything from him in a couple of days. So I called the CEO. He was the main hiring authority. I call him up, and he sounds nervous, and he sounds like, and this is in the middle of a work day, mind you. This is like 10 a.m. But he sounds nervous, and there's a whole bunch of noise going on. I'm like, bro, you at a Coldplay concert? I didn't say that, but I was like, where are you at? And he's like, I'm outside in line at SVB. And my heart sank, because this was about to be a pretty big deal. This was about to be a pretty big hire, probably one of the largest I'd made yet, if not the largest. And come to find out, he's like, yeah, so if you know what's going on with SVB, I'm outside and I'm at our local branch. I've already tried making a withdrawal, but yeah, we're pulling all of our cash out. And so I browned my overalls, and at the end of the day, it ended up working out all right. The banks always get bailed out. Everybody's fine. So that hire ended up getting made. Everything was hunky-dory. But I throw all that out there because this is an example of how the hiring landscape has changed a lot since I first started getting into this game. That's why I wanted to talk about it in a conversational type of way, where I'm not having to do a whole bunch of edits, because I'm really editing. It's hard, and it takes a lot of time. So I just wanted to blab, because I've been doing this long enough to have a valuable opinion on it. And I get asked quite a bit a lot of times it's from job seekers, candidates, and that type of thing, but hiring managers too. Companies are keen to know what the tech sales job market is like, how other folks are doing hiring and that kind of thing. And I wanted to be able to talk about it in long form, because I do have some data, and not going into that too much, because I like just talking from experience, because I've seen a couple cycles, and I've seen the trends and the buzzwords and strategies change up over the years. But that's what we're talking about today. How things have changed and my outlook for the future. Overall, it's good. But I'm going to unpack this with a couple takeaways that whether you are in the job market, looking for a new job in the tech sales sphere, if you are going to be hiring some salespeople anytime soon, or if, let's say, you're just a great seller in a great spot and you want to know, hey, I mean, I got my humongous payout that's going to happen in a quarter or at the end of this month, and maybe I'll make a move if I have reason to believe that I'll be going into greener pastures elsewhere. Maybe you've been with the same company for a long period of time. I can touch on that, but I'll get into it. So just to paint the picture of how things have generally changed, what it looks like to me, and I don't think this is really rocket science at all, this isn't jet fuel, no steel beams, is that the tech sector, and when I say tech, I'm talking about software for the most part. I'm talking about software, and I'm talking about B2B professional services that hinge on, technology partnerships, IT services, cybersecurity services, or, any type of partner that might do consulting primarily for, like a big OEM like ServiceNow, Salesforce, SAP, something like that. When I say tech sales, that's what I'm talking about. Generally, and I'm saying this because that's representative of most of the clients or customers that me and my team have served mostly over the past 4 years. Lots of startups. Okay, so I'll give you that just to give you the context. Mostly startups, mostly like early to mid stage, plenty of late stage too, plenty of publicly traded companies as well. But bread and butter's been like early to mid stage startups and or professional services firms, maybe like dev shops that have turned out their own proprietary software offering, and now they're doing services on top of that, but now they have, a high margin product that they're trying to take to market. That's normally when me or my team has mainly interfaced with these types of companies and customers. So anyway, main thing that I'm trying to get across here is the tech sales follows tech, and the tech sector follows venture capital generally. I don't know, maybe 60, 75% of our customers have been VC backed or PE backed, but especially a lot of the more SaaS and like straightforward SaaS plays, they've been VC backed. Those types of companies are hiring based on when they can get money and when they can get a lot of money, when they can get somebody to bet on them and say, hey, you have some traction, you have some PMF, let's go ahead and dump some money on you. We're going to bet on you, Jimmy. And so they bet on this company, and they do that with money that's available from the VC firms. VC firms can only lend based, their risk tolerance is directly tied to the federal interest rate. So Jerome Powell is really the one who's doing the Godfather, movie logo thing over here. He's pulling the strings, okay? So, back in 2021, when I was getting into this, money was cheap. Everybody's invested in everything. Oh, you have a customer? Yeah, 10 million. Series A, here you go. Oh, you have the word conversational commerce in your thing. That sounds really innovative. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's throw 15 million bucks into you. Back then, so, folks, there was this huge need. You had this huge gap. Everybody's like, we need to grow at whatever costs, and let's just dump a ton of money into whatever company that we can. It's basically like if I got on Coinbase right now, I don't know, maybe there's a better one. I'm not really a crypto guy, but let's say, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and put 20 bucks into a whole bunch of coins, and one of them, yeah, all of them, most of them are going to lose money, but one of them is going to hit whatever amount. And that was a good strategy at the time because the cost of money was so low. Late 22, 23, that's when you had all these big layoffs. That's when layoffs started becoming fun. When I say fun, I just mean happening a lot. So you had your, like we talk about the FANG stuff, basically just any of your big tech companies, your household names. I don't know why Netflix, that not really so pertinent, but your Salesforce, your Amazon, thus AWS, Microsoft, all those folks started laying everybody off, and that started trickling down. So you had all these really hot, mid-stage, late-stage startups that were popping off. Maybe they just announced a C or a D. They hired 200 sellers, and then the next day, half of everybody's gone. And then you had this nutty situation that started to happen that was not really a thing up until then. For the first time in a long time, you had a bunch of really good sellers, a lot of really talented individuals who were good at selling and know technology, who were just unemployed and on the market. And that's when shit really started to hit the fan. And it's probably the main thing that's made the hiring landscape, the job market, and this ecosystem weird as of today. And I can speak to some of that, but really what you have currently, and what's been happening over the last couple of years, is fewer sales openings, fewer positions total, similar revenue targets, fewer growth targets, but more of an emphasis on profitability. So what I've seen a lot of companies do is they may take, let's say it's a company that has a lot of paying customers already. You'll see new business reps be converted to go into managing existing accounts, upselling, cross-selling, not as much a focus on new business. Generally, this is not comprehensive, but in a lot of the cases, you see companies, they're just putting emphasis on, hey, we got, Danny and we got Laurel over here, and they're paying us, $100,000 a year, rather than paying some new kid off the block $200K a year to go bring us in, 5, 6, 7 customers. Let's just preserve the cash that we have, not worry about the whole ramp time and worry about this new business, spinning up a new business function. Let's just protect what we have and steadily grow what we have. Train of thought. Anyway, reason I'm saying that is because now when you do have an opening for a new business role, which is most of what I've gone out there and found folks, is folks who are good at, net new logo hunting or new business, that kind of thing, traditional account executive type stuff. A lot of those folks are now unemployed, on the market, and especially for folks that like working at startups, because like I said, most of what I've worked in has been startups. Startups are just, you're more likely to get canned a lot of the times. I mean, yeah, you have like your really big players. I mean, I don't know how many different rounds Salesforce and Microsoft and a lot of your big telecoms have been through. But with the startups, because it's so speculative and business goes up and down so often, you're very likely to have layoffs as an employer or as a employee. And I think what I want to get across is, a lot of the frustration that I've seen on both ends for the last year and a half or so has been the expectations for what hiring managers want sellers to do is kind of the same. It's kind of the same. what the job seeker or what the seller is capable of has gone down a little bit because of economic conditions. But also the expectations, especially for those with lean hiring teams, for those that don't really have like a recruiting function, or for folks that are, just kind of grabbing a bunch of firms at one time and then saying, hey, can you bring me a resume or something like that? The expectations for bringing somebody in have kind of stayed the same or gone up, and they haven't adjusted to the reality of today. So what do I mean? There's a couple of things that always look attractive to an employer, and this goes for tech sales or probably for anything. But normally when we first start working with somebody, I have my bucket of things that I'm looking to tee up, whether that be with a candidate, with a profile or something like that. And that what that is one, some sense of, selling some similar technology into a similar vertical with similar numbers. Best case is coming from direct competitors. If you're in a competitive space, have you sold maybe just a more poorly received product but done better at it, and hit quota and done President's Club? If you have one, then shit, you'd probably be a great fit over here. At least I could sell you on paper. Are you in the location? It's another big thing too. I mean, return to office has gotten a lot bigger. And I mean, between COVID and just between being in this space for a long time, a lot of the tech sales that I've been in the midst of it's been remote. It's been inside sales. Yeah, we got some big enterprise, multi-6, 7-figure deals to do. Yeah, we'll go do an on-site. We'll bring along a couple of support folks. We'll have air support. We'll wine and dine some folks. We'll meet up with them at a conference. But a lot of it's taking place on the inside. And so, long story short, what it is there's just a lot more talent that's on the market right now. There's a lot of confused talent, and because of that, you now have a lot more confused hiring authorities, hiring managers, and so on. And what I think is really difficult, about trying to hire somebody like the perfect person or somebody that's really good when you have a number that you got to hit is, let's say you put up a job posting. I mean, you could be any tech company. If you're a tech company, or even if you're a tech company, you have a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand followers on LinkedIn. Your CEO has a picture. Y'all have a couple reviews out there. You put up a job post and it's not completely whack, and you're not severely underpaying, and you have benefits, and you're not doing like a contractor or something like that kind of role, which that's another thing that's exploded in recent years. If you put up a job post, and you're probably going to get a ton of applicants, and you're probably going to have some amount of folks that are interested in working for you. And so here's the thing. I think there's two camps of candidate that I think can be really great for a particular, company or opening. Best case, and what I like to present to a client or a customer whenever we have them start is somebody who's perfect on paper. I don't like it. Hey, if I just got to know you, I'm not gonna chance your perception of me by just giving you somebody who I feel like spiritually, this person could sell the freaking ice to a polar bear off a chrome hitch. You know what I mean? I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to start with, hey, this person's coming from a direct competitor. They've stayed at every company that they've been at over their 10, 20-year career, at least 3 years every time, hit quota every single time, been a top performer on X amount of teams, and is in your location. That's generally what I'm going after first, at least. Thing is nowadays with the tumultuity of the market, it's really hard to get for one thing, it's hard to filter for those folks, because, you know, LinkedIn Recruiter, as an example, that's like the main tool that most of us are using to find these types of folks. You can set filters for how long somebody's been at their current company, but lots of really great sales reps are out there. And then they also have stuff like, you know, their little plant company that they're the CEO of. Maybe they started it when they were 16, now they're 45. Those will populate in the results. In reality, they've jumped and had all these gaps for the last 5 years. That's something that can happen. The other thing too is just like people tend to not update LinkedIn profiles. And, you know, I talk about LinkedIn profiles because LinkedIn is your resume nowadays. Like, resumes are very hard to read, and you don't, you know, you go on a resume, it's always something that's going to be cross-referenced to, because it's understood that there's going to be things on a resume that you don't find on a LinkedIn profile. You want to make it more verbose and what have you. But you, like, there's no magical filter for, hey, is somebody shown some sense of stability in their current job? Also, most people aren't updating their LinkedIn profiles with, you know, numbers, like how much money have they brought in? What's their quota attainment been like? What have their sales cycle looked at? Who's their ICP? You know, maybe, you know, let's say it's a rep who works at Salesforce. I don't try to find people who work at Salesforce to work elsewhere, because why would you leave? You know what I mean? But you know, you have your core team, you have your healthcare team, you have your BFSI team. If folks don't put that on there, you can't find them. And they may be the best rep that's on the team. And if they are not updating their stuff to put in these keywords, they might very well be the best person that there is available, especially for you. But as a hiring manager, if you're not going out there and you're not trying to source these people and get them interested, you're gonna have a very narrow sliver of basically who's available, and 99% of those folks are just gonna be hella thirsty. And that's not normally what you want. I'm not saying that within that 99% bucket of thirsty individuals who need a job right now, that none of them are going to be great, because I've seen a lot of people in that predicament turn around and they have a chip on their shoulder. Maybe they've been laid off 3-4 times in a row for non-performance related reasons, and have just gotten shafted a whole bunch. Maybe they got kicked to the curb right before a big commission payout. They talked to a lawyer. They ended up saying, hey, I'm a little too Christian to want to take this to court, and, you know, it's at that dollar amount range where I don't want to spend the next year of my life trying to recover 70, 80 grand when I could just go get another job at a legit company and crush it there and freaking make it happen and make up for it. All of that stuff, all of those data points and stuff, there's not a way to figure that stuff out without just talking to people and knowing some about it. It's impossible to parse through all that stuff. And that's why I think, you know, a big thing that I think companies and hiring managers are really struggling with these days is figuring out what's real and what's not when it comes to candidates, because especially salespeople too, we're so good at interviewing. We can schmooze, and we know how to fudge numbers, and we know how to do body language and, you know, like divert attention, and how to follow up and just be persistent and do a lot of very minute things that are all effort based, that don't require a whole lot of, you know, frontal lobe reasoning. But I think that that's what a lot of the hiring folks are struggling with, and that makes it tougher for the folks that are, let's say, just really qualified and or really good. Because here's the thing, if you're a company and you're trying to hire, you know, some salespeople, you may think that you have the most complicated buyer set of all time. Maybe your technology is super complicated and technical, and you have buyers that are don't know what they want. And you're like, we got to have somebody who's been doing this thing for the last 10 years. I'll tell you, I had a company that was I think a seed level quantum computing startup. This was back in 2021, I think, but they had the nerve to come to me and say, yeah, we're trying to hire our first sales rep. We want somebody who's stayed at least 10 years with their last company, who has startup experience, but also has worked at either IBM or Oracle or Microsoft or something, has a good amount of experience with quantum computing and selling 7-figure deals, and went to a top 10 school. And every other candidate that we want to see, we want them to be a girl. I was just talking, I'm like, no, I'm not wasting my time. That person doesn't exist. Quantum computing? No. I'm not even going to get started on that whole thing, because I think it's a whole, not a scam, but I think it's its own little pit of stuff that I don't care about. But anyway, I'm going to look at my notes real quick so I don't get us too off base, because I got a lot of stuff to cover today. Okay, so I'm gonna give somebody some just my general outlook, and this is gonna be me talking from personal experience. 2021, 2022, best years I've had in this job so far, money-wise. You know, I gotta work and do things to put bread on my table. I gotta get out there and get it. 21, 2022, easy. You know, I could work really hard, make more. 2023, really rough. Sucked. Question my whole trajectory. What am I doing type of thing. 2024, better. 2025, this is going great. So, yeah, I've gotten better and I've learned a lot and I've figured stuff out and I've automated things. But overall, I'm optimistic about the tech sales job hiring market. But you got to stay hip to what's going on. And this goes whether you are going to be hiring or whether you're going to be looking for a new job. But I'll give you some tidbits. In general, if you're looking for a job, if you're out there and you're trying to get more interviews, there's a couple of things that you need to have. If you have a banged up resume, when I say you got banged up resume, your job history is banged up. When I say banged up, I mean if you're hoppy and or you're gappy. So if you've had long periods of unemployment and if you've had a lot of short stints in a row, call a short stint probably under 2 years generally. If you have a lot of those in a row, you probably have more unemployments in a row because the story keeps getting harder to tell. If let's say you're unemployed right now and you're like, dude, I've been interviewing so much, I've been getting to the last round at all these stages, and like, oh, we don't think you'd be a good first hire, which is what we are right now, but the second hire for this role, you'd be great for it. Let's touch base in 6 months. We all know that's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. If it does, poor you know what I mean? But if that's what's going on with you right now, if you're struggling, you're not checking one of these 3 boxes. 3 boxes are, you gotta have good stories. If your job history, your resume is banged up, you gotta have good stories. You gotta have good numbers, accurate numbers that make sense, and thorough numbers, as many numbers as you can get. And if you didn't, slurp up all your CRM data, close won, close lost, average deal cycle, deal length in comparison to the cohort that you were with or with team averages, and those numbers aren't higher, and you knew that they were higher but you didn't write them down. If you're in a job right now, just go ahead and write them down. If you feel at all unsafe about where you're at, write it down. Take a screenshot, even better. Don't do, have a resume, but if you can have like a visual thing that covers your key achievements and what you've put out there, that looks way better than a resume. I love when the candidates have that, I've been blabbing too long, so this thing just went and came out and told me to reset. So anyway, here's what you gotta have. You gotta have good stories, you gotta have good numbers, and you have to have good references. You Because here's the deal, if your resume is banged up, you've been doing job to job every 8 months, 6 months, or what have you, you may have great stories and you may have great numbers. But best believe, when it comes time to reference checks, I mean, I'll be surprised if you even get asked for reference check, because that hiring manager has already called up 3, 4 people, you know, what's suspected to be your previous boss, and asked them if they liked you or not. So, yeah. So if you don't have that, then you're out. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just incredulous. Folks are, with the amount of bullshitters that are out there on the job market right now, who are sucky and are just in there to collect the base pay, and like, I built a $4 million pipeline in a year, and yeah, nothing closed, but I built this humongous pipeline. Nobody cares, okay? So those are the 3 things that you need to spell out. For hiring managers and what they're looking for, not a whole lot has changed. Domain knowledge, tenure, good track record. Like I said, lots of folks have been getting chopped for non-performance related reasons. And these hiring managers are getting stuck sifting through a lot of good, mid, bad, and irrelevant candidates. And I think, you know, I guess my tip for the hiring authorities out there is, if you got a revenue number to hit, focus on doing that. Focus on doing that. Let somebody else take care of the sifting and the identifying the folks that are really good. Because, yeah, I'd love to be out here and say, like, oh yeah, there's this magical unicorn sales rep that works for your #1 competitor, and your company is absolutely better than yours, and there's like always going to be this magical scenario that makes me able to sell your job and your opening to this person and then make a jump. Yes, that's possible, and I love when that happens, but it's not always the case. A lot of times you may be best off just going after like a qualified thirsty person, straight up. Especially if somebody has had a really tough couple of years. I think we all have examples of times where we've struggled in life and been able to pull off a huge win simply because of how much pain that we're in. So what does that look like? I mean, I can't really imagine anybody, let's say a founding sales leader or a CEO who's doing founder-led sales right now, getting a good ROI on spending time looking at applications. I just don't think that that's possible. There's not a platform, there's not a firm out there that's going to be able to do a good job of that. I think your best bet is probably to hire a recruiter, whether that be an actual employee who's going to work and build up a talent acquisition playbook for you long term as you continue to grow. The other thing too is, hey, maybe you just are probably going to have 1 to 3 openings in the near term. Get a contract person. There's a bazillion recruiters out there that have some domain expertise, who can fill in for you, sift through the applications, put up job postings for one, but also just actually do a decent job of sifting through that, so that by the time they get to you, there's already an 80-90% chance that they're going to be moved on to the next round, because it's too much work with all of the rigmarole that's been happening in the past 2-3 years to be able to sift and figure out what's true, preliminarily for somebody who is focused on hitting a multi-million-dollar number, or, whatever growth metrics that you may have. So I say the other things that you could do, obviously, if you're using search firms, go ahead and keep doing that. If it's not working and you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and retain somebody. Even if it's just, let's say you're paying a flat monthly fee, but you're meeting with the firm and you have a good point of contact over there that you trust. Meet with them weekly, go over the metrics of who's been sourced, who's been interviewed, share thoughts and opinions, because stuff is changing frequently enough. And the thing is like, if you're not keeping the hiring pace up and you don't have the hottest job on the market, you're not paying top dollar, you're not even paying really competitively, you're going to have to move quick on people. And you're going to have to sell the other parts about what make your job and what make your company sweet. your CEO story, the culture that y'all have. Maybe y'all do beer on tap. It's not really a great example, but you're picking up what I'm putting down. But those are my recommendations. Overall, I'd say, you know, it's been weird the past year and a half, and things aren't what they were in 2022, 2021, you know, peak in 2022. But I think that they will get back there eventually. And I think that things are really not that bad. They may seem bad, but if you stay smart and you check those boxes that I was saying about earlier, you'd be a lot better off. So, hey, if this sounds like something that you'd want to hear some more about, whatever channel you're looking at this on, go ahead and leave a like, do a subscribe, put your comments in the box. I'm sure there's a box somewhere. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one. Big Country out.